filming.
Well, what a start. You joined me down at Mallard Lake on the popular day ticket venue Bluebell Lakes. Got down late last night to find a very busy lake. Unfortunately, because the football was on, I thought it was going to be a bit quieter, but it wasn't the case. Managed to squeeze myself in amongst everyone else last night, and when I saw an opportunity I moved around onto showing fish this morning. Got the rods out pretty quietly and managed to snare this lovely little common. So without further ado, I'll slip her back and give you a rundown of how this session's going on so far. Right, we just slipped that lovely common back. I just want to give you a quick lowdown of how I've come to that point and how the session's progressed. I started off, as I briefly mentioned earlier, the other side of the lake. Woke up this morning. Two of the guys that are fishing over this side of the lake had moved and created a new opportunity. There's a good turnaround of anglers coming and going all the time. So when you turn up to a lake, not very often I'll overcommit myself to a certain swim because the pressure's always changing around the lake and you've got to adapt and sort of move with it to get the best chance of getting a bite and getting on the fish. So what I've done, I've packed up early, about 6 o'clock this morning. I saw an opportunity where everyone else was just sort of waking up. I was packed in the car, came around this side of the lake, got in here, got set up, and we're on fish straight away. So without hesitation, I put out sort of 4 or 5 spoms of bait just on the back of a weed bed I'd found, and let the fish do their thing. So my thought process with the move this morning was that basically, one, there was no pressure here. The lads that were here, there were 2 lads in this swim last night, had moved out, and that created probably 6 or 7 hours with no lines in the water. And these fish, you know, they know when the pressure isn't there and they will encroach in these areas. Secondly, the prevailing conditions were brilliant. We had a lovely southwesterly kicking in this corner against the reeds. That was a good opportunity to have a little look, have a little scan around with the lead and see what the bottom was like. Happens to be a massive Canadian weed bed out front of me here, but I managed to find a nice clear spot on the back of it. Put out probably 4 or 5 spods worth of bait. I've not overcommitted with the bait because there may well be another move on the cards yet. Another opportunity might present itself, another part of the lake where the fish might move to yet. So I want to keep the gear I get out of the car to a minimal, just what I need so I can move at the drop of a hat. So a really good tip when fishing high stock venues like this, they do tend to move around in quite big packs in this sort of water. We safely secured the fish and I wasted no time in getting a few more spoms of bait out. Just the idea is just to keep them grubbing around the area really. We don't want them fishing the grub off and then moving off. So just to keep them interested, keep them in the vicinity, and hopefully we can take more bites off the area before they move off. Okay. So it's been about an hour and a half since I last topped the swim up. I'm now going to get myself a brew sorted, organise the swim a bit better because the old camp's looking a bit rugged after that fish. Get a couple of spods out to keep the interest in the area and try and hold on to any fish that are still grubbing about, keep the interest there. And then I'll run you through my baiting approach and exactly what goes into my mix shortly. Right, well, the spot's all topped up now, went out nicely. I just want to run you through quickly what I use and why I use it. This is a good little mix for using on high pressured venues like this where you've got a lot of pack fish moving about. Yeah, okay, I use boilies on a lot of waters, but with this, because of the small food items, party blend, corn mixed in with the boilie, it gives them a lot more to contend with. It takes them longer to clear a spot. With the added liquid, a bit of krill hydrosalate liquid in there, it just leaves a good sediment in the ground there on the lake bed to, should they clear it out, there's still a bit of attraction going on there. Yeah, so this will keep them grazing for a little bit longer. The idea is little and often I'll apply it just to keep that pack fish, will hopefully keep a shoal on my spot for longer and increase the chances of a pickup. So for the top of this sort of mix, the rig I tend to use is a short, stiff hook link. Basically what we've got out here is away from the weed, where I found some hard areas I can get away with a short, stiff hook link. So that's what I'm using. Something critically balanced and very low to the lake bed. I don't want a sort of 2-inch pop up above it. I want something in amongst the mix to get them grubbing around and nick a bite off of that. Well, that's the spots all sorted now, all in situ, happy with the drops, happy with the baiting scenario. Seen a few fish about, so I don't want to commit myself totally, but I'm going to stay put for now. If I don't see anything in about an hour, 2 hours to make me move elsewhere, I'll get the bivvy up. Hopefully we can nick a couple more fish. Oh, look at him, what a beauty. What he lacks in size, he certainly makes up for in looks. I mean, look at the scalation on that. Cracking fish. Great timing as well. We just finished a curry, as you do. Just settled in for the night now. I've got the bivvy up and I'm glad I committed now because it looks like they're getting on the feed. We just topped the spots up. We're just gonna get a couple of snaps of this. The scale pattern both sides is amazing, so we're gonna get a few snaps of the other side. Slip it straight back and settle in for the evening. Well, I'm sure you'll agree that was a cracking fish to end the day with. Spurred on by that last capture, I've redone all 3 rods, freshened the spots up with a bit more spod mix, and yeah, it's looking really hopeful. There's still a few fish about there, I can hear them now boshing out, so happy days. Really good result that was, that last fish. Well, I finally got the Tempest brolly up in situ now. Camp's all set for the night ahead. Everything's got its place. I've got the waders set next to me there, in anticipation, alongside the head torch. Hopefully I'm going to need them. I'm going to get my head down and get up early doors, and again it's kind of almost semi-packed down in anticipation to what's going to happen around me. Then I could be quick to react. So good night. Well, no sooner had I signed off for the day, just about falling asleep, and the left-hand rod ripped off. Blistering run, jumped out after quite a battle actually. I landed this cracking mirror, beautifully scaled, fought like an absolute demon. So quickly got in the retention sling, safe and secure, top the swim up with a bit of spod mix, start to get ready for a few pics and a bit of video of it, and another rod ripped off with something a little bigger. So we're going to slip this one back and show you the bigger one. Well, I told you it was a little bit bigger, and here she is, a proper unit of a common carp. Especially for this water, this is a right result. Absolutely stunning fish, I'm sure you'll agree. I don't think I'm going to get another rod out now. I think I'm going to leave this rod out of the water. Do my best to get some kick because I'm absolutely shattered now. It's been a brilliant day, great fun. Kept active all day. And this is the result, you know. Put the effort in, keep on your toes, and these are the rewards that can come your way. Fantastic creature. Well, I'm absolutely blown away by this capture. There's not many in here this big, so this is a proper result for this lake. Buzzing about this. Let's get her back. Yeah, boy. Well, good morning. Very eventful night last night. I'm sure you agree with the capture of that fabulous common. After we slipped her back, we had a celebratory brew. It's quite a buzz actually, that capture. Wasn't really expecting that to come along. This morning, woke up, had a bit of a lie-in. Didn't wake up as early as what I thought I would because a very late night in the end. So got up and was faced with a very windy front coming in, which pushed into this corner. Played havoc with the lines, there's a lot of weed beds floating in here. I've redone the spots, basically get the line lay a bit better after all the weed slamming into them all night. And we've just had a bit of a result. So without further ado, I'm just going to get this rod back out there and show you. Well, check that out. I told you we had something special, and here it is. What fantastic scalation on this mirror. Absolute beauty. Well, I think this is a fitting end to end the session. It's been amazing down here at Mallard Lake on the Bluebell complex. Fantastic place to come and catch some beauties like this. I should have take this opportunity to thank Tony, the owner, for letting us do a little bit on here. It's very much appreciated. And I'll just end on this absolute cracking mirror. Catch you next time.